Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the library on this beautiful rainy day. I ordered it just for today. No. Thank you. No. Really, we looked at the calendar like a month ago, and this was the only Friday with no rain the whole month. And so we're like, that's the day. Yeah. The best plans that you make don't always work out. But my name is Sarah Blyle. I am the library director here in Lompoc. I love being here. I've been here since October, and I'm still happy every day to come to work and work with some wonderful people in the city and in the library and just in the community. I've met so many great people here, and I'm very happy that I've had this opportunity. The Bookmobile is amazing. I came from a library system where we had two, and we lived in Kern County, so it's this huge area, and there's libraries in most of the towns, but there was a lot of areas that didn't have library service. And one of the ways that we kind of leveled the playing field there was to have bookmobiles that could go out into the community to be where people were. And so that was one of the things that really attracted me to this position, is this bookmobile for children. And then I learned this incredible history about Charlotte Benton and her generosity and the generosity of the community. And it was just, this is such a wonderful thing for this community. We can be all places. We're very flexible. And Courtney Rogness is our new children's librarian. And she has been instrumental in setting up all of the things also that we're going to talk about today. I just wanted to give you a brief introduction of me, talk a little bit about the bookmobile. It's right here, or it's right out there. And we have some great speakers that will be able to just tell us a little bit more about what a wonderful opportunity this is. And this community has been so supportive of this effort. And that is amazing. The people of this community just have been so welcoming and kind and generous, and I am just so happy to be here. And it's nice, I get the credit of this at the very end of it. I'm like, I finally brought it here, but you know what? It's so much work went behind it, and people keep saying, oh, this is great, and I'm so thankful for all of the directors who've come before, for the commission and for the foundation and for the friends and for everybody in the community, the city, that have made this possible today, for us to have this vehicle finally and to start going where the kids are. Thank you very much for your help with getting this process, and thanks to the staff for setting up today too. This has just been, I have such great staff here, so I love them. I am going to turn the time over to the mayor, Bob Lingle, to be the next speaker. After him, there's an omission. I made this 50 million times. We worked on this and looked at it, and Anne Rouget was on there, I swear. And then we printed it, and she is not there. So I am sorry. But Anne Rouget of the Library Commission will be speaking after Bob, and then we will go on with Courtney and just follow the program from there. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Sarah. It's amazing that it only took you 4 months to do this. You know, we should have hired you a long time ago. No, it has been a long time. And it's been somewhat painful, but the results are beautiful. So I think in retrospect, it's all been worth waiting for. So, you know, I've written a few notes, but how can you say in a few notes anything about Charlotte Benton? Many of you in this room knew her. Unfortunately, I did not get to know her. I wish I had. What a wonderful woman. I believe everyone knows that Charlotte was a former mayor, first woman mayor of Lompoc. Loved children, loved books, and this is the result. So this bookmobile has a long, storied history, pun intended, storied history. The name is even longer, or almost as long as the history. Charlotte Webb's Bookmobile Children's Library. But it really describes what it's all about. It's all about Charlotte, children, and books. I could go on for a long time talking about Charlotte, but what you need to know about Charlotte is that she was a woman that loved books, loved reading, loved children, and loved reading books to children. Upon Charlotte's death, she donated her estate, which included her residence, to the city of Lompoc with the hopes and the dreams that her residence would become a children's library. Unfortunately, for many reasons, the residence was unsuitable for this purpose, and we had to look for an alternative. In 2012, after a lot of thought, a lot of work, a lot of discussion, it was decided that a bookmobile may be the alternative. If you can't bring the kids to Charlotte's home library, why not bring Charlotte's home library to the kids? It made so much sense. Matter of fact, Mr. Woods is here someplace, we were talking a little bit earlier. What a great idea. Even though a brick and mortar library was the original plan, this has the possibility of serving so many more kids in our community. Kids that did not have access and do not have access to books will now have books brought to their neighborhood. Kids that did not know that a book can be fun will now put down their PlayStations, have a book read to them, will read a book, and just have a lot of fun. This is a happy day for Charlotte, a happy day for our city, a happy day for our library, but a glorious day for our kids in this community. Thank you, Charlotte, for your dreams, your vision, and thank you for always remembering the kids in Lompoc and what it's really all about. I'd be remiss in not thanking the Charlotte Benton trustees, the Friends of the Library, the Library Foundation, the Library Commission, the library and city staff, and the many, many, many community volunteers that worked so long and so hard to make sure that this dream came true. And today, we see the dream. Thank you.
It has. It's been a long, 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 long time. And when I was on Planning Commission, the plans for the brick and mortar building were before us. And I supported it then. You know, as time has gone by, we've supported it. There's got to be a way, there's got to be a way. And the finances were part of it. When we were the Board of Trustees, we had a little bit more clout. And we could say, you know, we've got to get this financed. And we looked at the figures over and over and over and over again, and there was no way we could build a bricks and mortar, a building. So I can't remember who it was. We were at a meeting once, and we were talking about this, and someone said, how about a bookmobile? And we're all going, excellent. So it's been a long time, and the community has been terrific, supportive. All the people that work, I look around, I see all of you. We worked hard for this, for Charlotte, and to make this a reality. And I must tell Sarah, that's one of the reasons. I know Lineal and Lou Knowles and myself were on the, and Molly were on the board to review her when she came in with her application. And the first thing was the bookmobile, and we're going, oh, what a perfect match. So, you know, your reputation, you're gonna have to live up to that. But it's wonderful, and I think it's a good answer for what we've been trying to do for the children of this community. And it's been doable, and we've got it here. A few glitches, I look back and I see some of the people that worked on the bus when it came in, and it's been a little bit, we had it in, at the Children's Parade in December, and then someone went over a bump, and I think it was our city manager, but he's not here. So, but that wasn't it. There were several little glitches that had to be fixed, but we're ready to roll. I understand there's going to be an open house all next week so people can see it here. But thank you thank you, and especially to Molly. I promised her when I got on the Board of Trustees that this would be done in both our lifetimes, so thank God. So thank you very much. Courtney's up.
Hi, I finally get to meet so many people. My name is Courtney Rognes, and you're going to be seeing me as much as you see this bookmobile all over town. Any questions you have, they're all going to come to me. So get to know my face, get to know my email, get to know my phone. But what I want to talk to you about today, and I know this is one of the biggest questions that people have when they have about the bookmobile. Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? What can it do? So I'm going to answer a few of those questions and say a few words about today as well. So I'd like to start off by saying, and I think this is the most perfect example of what a bookmobile can do. So today, as you can see, it's raining. We were going to have a story time, just as we would when we'd go to a park. We were going to put out carpet squares, beautiful carpet squares we bought and all this stuff. And we have LaHonda, who was going to walk over here with their kindergarten class, and you all were going to get to see the happy faces of the LaHonda students. And then it starts raining, and then it starts storming, so they couldn't come to us. So we're not going to have the story time today, but in the future, we'll be driving the bookmobile to them. Also, I wanted to let you know a little bit about me. I am a children's librarian. I worked in Black Gold before this at the Goleta Library, and I also worked at the Beverly Hills Public Library. I worked in almost every department you could imagine exists in a library, but mostly with youth services. So, though you think a bookmobile is run on diesel and batteries and solar energy, what a bookmobile in my mind is really run on is the passion that the librarian, the staff on board can really put into that bookmobile. And that's what I am going to be on the bookmobile. And hearing everything I've heard today already makes me a little emotional, and I really just want you to know that this bookmobile is going to be run, if I have to run it on my own passion, I will. So that's mostly what I wanted to bring to today's speech, and I wanted to let you know on the bookmobile we'll have kind of a mock-up of what you could imagine a schedule to look like, so you can grab one when you go on board. This is in the works, but starting April, we're hoping to be in parking lots around town. We're hoping to be at the farmers markets. Those are public stops. We've also already started a really, really nice and solid relationship with the Boys and Girls Club and the YMCA. And so we'll be visiting every single after-school program on Wednesday or Thursday of every week already, right from the get-go. So, yeah. And hopefully, starting in the next school year, we'll also be doing field trips, and everything will probably change by then. But starting off, that's what we're starting with. So I welcome you today. I'll see you on board the bookmobile, and I am there for you if you have questions.
Okay, next we will hear from Melinda Gary. She is the president of the Lompoc District Libraries Foundation. I didn't put the whole title because it was really long and it didn't fit. But Melinda, here you go.
Thank you. In 1997, our foundation started in 1997 with the sole purpose of purchasing books for the local libraries. A couple of years after that, we inherited Charlotte Benton's dream of opening a children's library. And I think Charlotte would be very, very happy to know that it's come to fruition. But I think everything has been said. Bob, ditto, everybody else. So, and I did want to introduce our board. I know that sometimes our board does meet the second Thursday of the month, and we are looking for new board members if anybody is interested. So Robin is our treasurer, Robin Small. Patty Coggin is a director. And our lovely secretary is Gail Meehan. Thank you. And Arlene, yes, who's wearing two hats today. Bunch of badges on your shirt. So anyway, I just want to thank everybody, especially the Turducken group, the Friends of the Library, who in coordination with the foundation and other volunteer groups in our community have helped the Lompoc Library get this far. So thank you.
And Melinda didn't say this, but I want to bring it to everyone's attention, but they have this wonderful endowment for books that every year we get about $20,000 from them that goes to books for the Lompoc Library, for the Village Library, for the Bookmobile, and to purchasing ebooks through Black Gold, which is our overall library system that you can check out books for free. Did you know that? From home. You never even have to step foot, but we want to see you here, so please come in. Okay, next we're going to hear from Joyce Howerton. She very graciously said that she would speak today. She is a former mayor of the city of Lompoc. Thanks, Joyce.
Thank you. So I don't know about you, but Courtney, why didn't you bring those squares in, put them here, and we could have all just sat on that. It would have worked, and you could have read to us.
Because they won't walk in the rain.
Oh.
They won't even walk if there's a chance of rain.
No, I don't mean the students. I mean everybody in the room. You know, I had the opportunity to be friends with Charlotte, and in the late 80s and early 90s, she started talking about what she wanted to do. Many of you know Charlotte came from Germany and lived in Germany during the Nazi period. And she would talk a lot about how during that time, the library was the one safe place you could go to, where children felt safe. And she wanted to do something like that in Lompoc. She wanted to create a place where children could go and just be safe. And so she started with this idea of a library, and then I ended up being in the city, and so she came to the city with this idea that she would donate her estate to the city for a children's library. And you know, thinking back at those times and listening to her and her dream and standing here today with the bookmobile outside, it's really magical. Because who thought this would ever actually happen? I can remember Charlotte saying to me, and I'm sure many others, after I die, you make sure they do this. You can't let them get away with it. You know, they have to do this. So I'd like us all just to take a second and think about it, because I don't know about you, but I feel Charlotte in this room. I mean, her dream for not just the community, but for the children of the community is not only going to be realized, but it's going to be expanded. You know, when I look out in this room, all the volunteers, the people that were involved with the library, Molly, the trustees, all of you, you got her dream. And because of all of you, and because you didn't let go, and you didn't give up, and in the spirit of Charlotte Bitton, you got what you wanted. The children of Lompoc, long after we're all gone, will have bookmobile that they can go to and read and be safe. So for the thanks of Charlotte Bitton, we're all so lucky today. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Barbara Holt. She is a co-trustee of the Charlotte Benton Trust. And Rita Madden, who is the other trustee, is unable to be here today. And I'm so thankful we're able to film this because, Rita, we appreciate you. And I want you to know, Barbara is a wonderful person. She has been just amazing for me to be able to talk to and to meet. We were able to give her a private tour the other day, so she got the sneak preview. But without them, without Barbara and Rita, we wouldn't be where we are today. So I am extremely grateful for this next speaker. Barbara, thank you.
Well, I think Joyce took away a lot of the things I was going to say regarding Charlotte, that she was raised, you know, in the Hitler era of Germany, and her one safe sanctuary was the library as a young girl and as a young lady, and she loved going there. And her one dream was to have her home open up to the children. She had plans for every square inch of that house and the rental properties that were there, that how they were going to be used. And it's too bad that, you know, it just didn't meet code and it wasn't something, but they came up with more of a modern idea, I think, and something that's a lot better for today's society than a structure would be. I made some notes last night because I'm not very good at public speaking. What she did in her own trust and her will was she set up the funds for the operation and maintenance of the library, which will go for the bookmobile. And at this time, there should be enough funds for it to last in perpetuity, according to the financial people that I deal with. So it's not just something that is here today and gone tomorrow. It's going to be here 10, 15, 20 years from now, as long as the bookmobile holds up. So I thank you all for, you know, what you've done and how you've been persistent, and whoever came up with the library staff with the bookmobile, they deserve every gold star that there is around, because if it hadn't been for that, we'd still be floundering and trying to find a way to build a structure. And in today's society, you're not going to find the funds to do that. So, and I think the only other thing that we need to do is, one of the things she wanted to make sure was that her property was used for the library, and some way or another we need to make sure that that bookmobile at least makes calls at that property on South I Street. So anyway, at least you know it's there and it's going to keep going. And I think she's, you know, looking down on us all and saying and smiling and being very happy that it's finally coming true what her dream was and what she set up in her trust and in her will. Okay, thank you.
All right, let's do it. So we'll go get a couple, everybody's good. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3 and cut it, all right? 1, 2, 3.
I don't really have a speech, and actually I deferred when I was asked to. So this is just a request, because I was thinking about this last night, and there are a couple of people I wanted to mention. This project, everyone's talked about the hiccups and hurdles in it. The city did come forward to try and pull this project together. But in the recession, as it got worse and worse, all the cities who lost redevelopment agency funds, in our case, that was close to $1 million. At that time, we had even been offered a free portable type building that could be brought to Lompoc, and a prefab building. We did not even have the funds to go forward with that. And in my office, a very wonderful, energetic young librarian who followed me as director, Ashley Chavez, said, well, maybe we could do a bookmobile. And this was really a novel idea, because a lot of libraries across the country were phasing those out due to fuel costs and that kind of thing. So I would like to call out her, her wonderful spirit that has continued with Jessica and with Sarah. So I think people coming in from the outside always bring great ideas. The other person I would like to mention is that as the project went forward, there were many, many technical details to the specs for a bookmobile that library directors don't necessarily have. But the wonderful board that the library has always had at that time included a very special person who had put together the specs for lots of fire engines. And so he stepped forward and helped Jessica, and that's Lemuel White, who's here today. So I want to thank you. I don't think it could have happened without you, so I'm really grateful for all your support to me and to other directors. So my last thing I want to say is that Phil Vassar, a country singer, wrote a song that was adopted by literacy programs. Charlotte Benton, many of you may know, started an electric car company in Lompoc in 1979. That's how forward-thinking she is. So I just think Wheels and looking forward and the bookmobile is a wonderful way
to carry on in her spirit. And the chorus to that song says, words are your wheels to take you anywhere you feel. Your mind is an automobile, and words are your wheels. So I think it's just great that that's how we're going forward. So thanks everybody that helped on this.
Thank you again, everyone, for coming. The ribbon is right here for you to sign, and then we will start taking small groups out to the bookmobile so you can see it. It's wonderful. I'm so excited for that.